Hey there, friends. I'm so glad you could join me tonight because we are exploring something truly spine tingling. Imagine the sun is setting, the sky is turning a bruised purple, and you're walking past a dense thicket of bamboo in rural Indonesia. There's a legend that has kept children tucked tightly in their beds for generations. It's the story of Wewe Gombel. She's not just your average ghost, she's a figure of tragedy and terror, a spirit who lurks in the transition between day and night, specifically during that eerie twilight hour known as Sandikala. Let's peel back the curtain on this dark piece of folklore.
To understand the monster, we have to understand the woman she once was. Long ago, legend says she was an ordinary woman, deeply in love and desperate to have a family. But life was cruel to her. In her village, her inability to bear a child became a source of immense shame and social isolation. Her husband eventually betrayed her, turning his back on their marriage. The grief and humiliation were so overwhelming that they shattered her mind and spirit. She was driven out of her home, eventually meeting a tragic end. But death wasn't the end for her. It was just the beginning of a dark transformation into something much more powerful and much more resentful.
She rose from her grave as Wewe Gombel, a vengeful spirit with a very specific purpose. Physically, she is described as terrifying, a tall, gaunt figure with long, pendulous breasts and wild, tangled hair. But she doesn't hunt for blood or gold. She hunts for children. Specifically, she targets those who are being neglected or mistreated by their parents. When a child is left alone at dusk, or when parents are too busy fighting to notice their little ones, that's when she strikes. She doesn't see herself as a villain, you see. In her twisted mind, she is saving these children, providing them with the maternal care she was never allowed to give in life.
The moment of the abduction is often silent and swift. One minute, a child is playing near the edge of the woods, and the next, they have simply vanished into thin air. Wewe Gombel is said to hide the children in a very peculiar and unsettling way. She tucks them under her massive, sagging breasts, rendering them invisible to the human eye. The child is kept in a state of semi-trance, shielded from the world. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? Being held so close to a spirit of death, yet feeling like you've simply disappeared from existence. The village goes quiet, and the frantic search begins as the sun finally dips below the horizon.
Where does she take them? Usually she retreats to the highest points of the village, the tops of massive palm trees or the deep, dark interior of bamboo groves. These areas become her nest. While the child is with her, she treats them with a bizarre kind of kindness. She doesn't hurt them physically, but she feeds them. However, the food she provides is far from natural. It's said she feeds the children earthworms, filth, and animal droppings, though to the enchanted child, it looks like delicious cakes and sweets. It's a psychological trap that keeps the child content while their family suffers in agony below.
When a child goes missing in this part of the world, the elders know exactly what to do. They don't just call the police, they gather the entire community for a ritual called Gumbrigan. They take kitchen utensils, pots, pans, and wooden spoons, and they begin to march through the village, beating the metal and wood together to create a deafening, rhythmic cacophony. They believe that this noise irritates Wewe Gombel and breaks her concentration. It's a battle of wills between the living and the dead as the village screams into the darkness, demanding that the spirit return what she has stolen.
The noise is meant to confuse the spirit, making her uncomfortable in her own domain. It's said that Wewe Gombel hates the sound of communal joy and loud, clanging metal because it reminds her of the society that rejected her. As the villagers circle the trees and the bamboo thickets, they chant and pray, pushing their energy into the night. If they are lucky, the spirit will eventually become so annoyed or startled that she simply lets the child go. But the return of the child is rarely a joyous, simple reunion. There's always a lingering shadow left behind by the encounter.
When the child is finally found, they are often discovered in a daze,
perched precariously on a high branch or hidden deep within a thorny bush. They are usually physically unharmed, but completely unresponsive, staring into space with wide, blank eyes. It takes days, sometimes weeks, for them to fully return to themselves. They often describe a beautiful lady who took care of them in a garden of dreams. The horror lies in the fact that the child didn't even realize they were in danger, while their parents were living through a literal nightmare. It's a scar that stays with the family forever.
But why does this legend persist so strongly even today? In modern Indonesia, the story of Wewe Gombel serves as a powerful social lesson. It's a warning to parents. Take care of your children, or the shadows will. It's a personification of the guilt that comes with neglect. In a world that's getting busier and more digital, the story reminds people to stay connected to their families. Even now, you'll hear parents calling their kids inside as soon as the sun starts to set, whispered warnings about the grandmother of Gombel lingering in the air like a cold draft. Some people claim to have seen her in recent years, truck drivers on lonely mountain roads, or hikers who strayed too far from the path after dark. They describe a sudden drop in temperature, the smell of rotting vegetation, and the sight of a figure that is much too tall to be human, moving silently through the canopy. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's something undeniably unsettling about the idea of a spirit that loves children so much she would steal them away from the world of the living. It makes you want to double-check that your doors are locked, doesn't it?
Now, let's get serious for a second. If you ever find yourself in a place where the bamboo grows thick and the sun is beginning to hide, listen closely. If you hear a soft maternal humming that sounds just a bit too hollow, or if you feel eyes watching you from above, don't look back. Just keep walking towards the light. Wewe Gombel is a reminder that the shadows have a memory, and they don't like to be forgotten. The legend is as old as the hills, but the fear is as fresh as tonight's sunset. Watch out, because she might be closer than you think. I hope you enjoyed this dive into the dark world of Wewe Gombel. It's a wild story, right? If you love hearing about urban legends and global folklore as much as I do, please make sure you hit those buttons. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. It really helps the channel grow and lets me keep bringing these creepy tales to your screen. Let me know in the comments, which legend should I cover next? Until then, stay safe, keep the lights on, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!